So I've got a really important clarifying question for you today, and keep watching so I can tell you what it is or ask you what it is. And this is very important if you want to make more money and help more people without killing yourself in the process. So let's dive into this. Hey guys, what's going on? Yuri Elkaim here, CEO and founder of Healthpreneur. Welcome to today's video. So you're here because you want to help more people, you want to make more money, you want to enjoy a better quality of life, you want to do work that's meaningful to you, and you're probably a little bit confused and frustrated sometimes because there's so many people saying so many different things, and I'm being blinded by the sunlight here. So don't mind me if I just disappear into like thin air. But it's challenging because you have some people say, well, do a low price membership, get lots of people in, or you like got people like myself talking about like a higher ticket, work with fewer clients, whatever. So this is really a perspective and clarifying question. So I'll have, I have conversations with clients daily, and one of the questions that I will ask them, depending on obviously what the question they're asking me is I'll ask them, do you want to make more money or do you want to help more people, right? Or do you want to make more money or do you want to enroll more clients? Because I think it's very important to distinguish the two. Because let's say the answer is, I want to help more clients. So if that's the question, if that's the answer, then naturally the answer to that question most likely is going to be, I have to charge a lot less. If you want to help 1,000 people, you could charge $10, no problem. But get 1,000 people to say yes to a $10,000 program, that's a different animal, right? And it's not to say that it's necessarily more challenging, but I think it's important to clarify what's really important here. Because when you do the math never lies. So let's say that you wanted to make $10,000 a month, right? $10,000 a month is going to be 100 clients paying you $100. Or it's 2 clients paying you $5,000. So think about this. The biggest bottleneck in your business is going to be on the delivery. That's usually going to be the biggest bottleneck in most businesses eventually, okay? So you could work with 2 clients per month. They each pay you $5,000. Right? Just think of logistically delivering to 2 clients on the back end versus dealing with 100 clients on the back end. Okay. 100 clients on the back end at $100 a month, it's probably not going to be very high touch. So it's more going to be like more of a membership or DIY. But remember this, what do you have to do to sell 100 people a month? That's the other question. You need a shit ton of traffic. On the flip side, 2 clients is going to come out of maybe 5 or 6 conversations over the phone. So you don't need anywhere near as much traffic. So you have to always understand the relationship between flow and back-end friction, right? So it's always this it's like a pipe, and you're always looking at where do we apply friction to slow the stream down, or where do we open it up to allow more flow to come through? And there's no wrong answer to this. So you have to understand, and this is the purpose of this channel, is really to just give you insights into stuff like this, is if you want to work with 100 clients a month at $5,000 each, let's talk, right? Because that's the level that we're playing at. That's $500,000 a month, I believe, if the math is, the math is right. $500,000 a month, 100 clients a month paying you $5,000. That's pretty high touch, right? For a health coaching type of program. So are you going to do all the coaching on the back end? No way. Well, what does that look like? Well, you got to hire some coaches, right? It's as simple as that. So the nature of the business model changes. So if we have a $5,000 offer, 100 clients work with you on a monthly basis, let's say it's a 3-month program, 100 clients, onboarding 100 clients, servicing 100 clients, keeping them accountable, checking in, whatever it is you do, it's going to be very challenging to do that by yourself. So you need to build a team on the back end. So the challenge of that business is also the biggest opportunity for growth, building a team, if that's what you want to do, right? Slightly bigger risk in terms of taking on more stuff, big reward, $500,000 revenue. Your profit on that's going to be pretty you're like easily you're going to be walking out of there with, 350 profit on that easily with that type of model. So that's one thing to consider. Now, let's say you're like, Yuri, I don't want to deal with the headache of 100 clients a month. I'm like, well, that's fine, right? Like that's okay. So what if you wanted 100 clients a month in a membership type of model? So let's say they pay you $50 a month. You have 100 clients a month. And let me do the math on this because my brain doesn't work. So 100 times 50 is $5,000. So just think about that. 100 people paying you $50 a month is $5,000. 100 people paying you, so I'm going to double check this. Yes, 100 people paying you $5,000 a month is $500,000. Is the juice worth the squeeze? I'll tell you this from experience. Filling a membership with 100 people to pay you $50 a month is, in my experience, more challenging than having a conversation with people to pay you $5,000. And part of that is once they're in, is getting them to stay in at $50 a month. Now, in order for that to happen, you need to go above and beyond to make sure they show up, they're accountable, you're over delivering, etc. But even then, they're only paying $50 a month. So they're like, what's the big deal? I'm not going to show up. I lose $50 a month. I cancel after 2 to 3 months. Whatever. It's a dinner, right? So you put in all this effort, or you don't do anything, right? You put up some stuff on the portal. They watch some videos and you're like, why are people leaving after 3 months? That's the way it goes. The average stick is 3 to 4 months with membership type programs. I was speaking at my buddy Stu McLaren's mastermind a couple of years ago. He's the membership guy, right? So he's like, if you want to build a membership site, you go to him. He's awesome. He's an amazing human. And I was talking to his mastermind. So all these people are 7-figure plus business owners who run membership sites, right? We're talking like thousands of clients or members in their membership sites, 47 a month, 97 a month, 2, 3, 4, 10,000 people in their membership sites. And I asked them, I said, what is the biggest challenge you guys are dealing with? And they all said stick rate or retention. And I said, well, how long is your retention, right? So I just said, okay, show of hands, 1 month, 2 months, some people went up, 3 months, most people's hands went up, 4 months, more people's hands went up. So on average, it was 3 to 4 months, which is consistent with the data from, all the research on stick rates and retention. And I said to them, I asked Stu about this before, and I said, dude, are you okay if I just share my opinions on this? Like, I understand like you have a philosophy and a business model. I don't want to overstep my bounds. And he's like, just share what you want to share. And so I said, okay, guys, well, here's the reality. If you want more people to stick, if you want them to do the work and show up, you have to add a 0 to your pricing. It's as simple as that. If someone's paying you $47 a month, turn it into $470 a month. If they're paying you $97 a month, turn it into $970 a month. Because as soon as people pay 10 times more, they're going to pay a lot more attention. And if you want people to get better results, they have to pay attention and do the work, right? There's nothing more frustrating than putting in a lot of work and no one actually like appreciating it or doing it or consuming it. In my health business, I built a program called Super Nutrition Academy, which is a membership. We actually had 4 membership sites in my previous business. So I'm speaking from like real world experience here, not like blowing smoke out of what. We had 4 membership sites. One of them was 24 months of workouts, new workouts every single month. I think it was $97 a month. It was called Fitter You Fitness, the worst name of all time. At most, we had a few hundred people in that. Okay. Like it was a lot of work for a very little return. And we always had to fill it, right? So I built this thing called Super Nutrition Academy because I was like, what more people need is they need to understand how their body works, which, by the way, a lot of this pandemic nonsense would have been alleviated if this stuff was taught in school, which is never going to happen, which is why I'm so passionate about empowering people with understanding about how things work, right? Their body, their business, etc. So I built this thing, Super Nutrition Academy, because for me, my life transformed when I went back to nutrition school. I'm like, everyone needs to know this stuff. So let me build the everyday person's nutrition school. It was like a 4-year degree in 1 hour per week. That was the whole tagline. And it was amazing. I spent 1,000 hours developing the content, 12 modules, carbohydrates, macronutrients, digestive, endocrine, all this stuff. It was great. I loved it. Then we launched it. and the market had other thoughts. It didn't go as well, right? $47 a month. Everyone's like, well, I don't know. Like, I got to learn stuff. I just want to lose weight. Whatever. It was very frustrating. It was very, very frustrating. So it was like pulling teeth trying to get people into this membership. We had to do all sorts of circus acts and stuff. And eventually at its height, I think we had, 400 or 500 people in the membership. So let's just look at the numbers up. 500 times 47 a month is 23,500, $23,500 for 1,000 hours of work. If I put in 1,000 hours of work to do 1,000 enrollment calls, and I assumed, let's just say that like even 5% of them said yes, which would be terrible conversion. I'd convert way more, but let's just even say 5%. So 50 people said yes at $5,000. That's $250,000. So it's 10 times more valuable to have a higher ticket conversation than pouring your heart and soul into building a membership site, in my opinion, at a low price with one caveat. The only time I think a lower priced membership site style type of business works really, really well is if you have a ridiculously large following. And I'm not talking like 10,000 people. I'm talking an email list of high hundreds of thousands. Our email list in my other business was close to, I think, 400,000 people. And even then, it was tough to fill our membership sites. So I'm talking about if you are a mega influencer, I'm talking about like Rihanna level, Kim Kardashian, tens of millions of people following you, then by all means, put together a membership site, $10 a month. They get access to whatever. You never talk with them. It's all good. Like you'll make so much money. It's going to be ridiculous. But if you don't have that, then I don't think you should worry and waste your time selling anything less than several $1,000s because it's so much work. It's the same amount of effort. You might as well put it into selling a higher ticket thing. And then on the back end, it's so much easier to deliver. If you want a lot of money, you can bring in a lot of clients, right? But can you handle that? That's a different story. And that's why a lot of people think, I'm going to build the DIY so people just do it by themselves and never have to deal with them. You're not going to hit the volume you want to hit. Okay. And it's not as easy as you think it is. Now, I'm not saying high ticket at volume is easy either, because now you have to support that with people. You have to hire, you have to lead a team. So you have to understand the difference of the different business models. And hopefully this video is giving you a bit of perspective. So the question is, do you want to make more money or do you want to help more people? And it doesn't always have to be one or the other. But I think if you get clarity on the fact of like, I want to make a lot of money and I want to help a lot of people. Like one of our clients, they're enrolling 1,200 clients per month at $6,000, helping them with their thyroid. That's close to $5 million in revenue per month. That's a high ticket model. We help them go from negative $40,000 with like two guys on the team to building a team of more than 100 people. Now, they went through some growing pains, obviously, as you will when you go from that to that, but it's possible. And, they're able to make a ton more money, donate more to charity, living a life that is much more enjoyable than what it was. And it's not to say that you can't have a product-based business that does that or a lower ticket business that does that. But you have to understand like what is going to make the most sense for you. I love building teams. I love building people up. I love helping people grow. So for me, a higher ticket, higher touch type of business model at scale is very exciting for me. Selling products, I've done that. I don't want to do that ever again. So hopefully this video gives you a bit of perspective, a bit of thinking around, some of these questions, because the two most important questions you have to really figure out when you're starting or growing your business is, what is my business model and who is my perfect client or avatar, especially on the coaching side. Any issues you run into are usually going to be related to one or two of those things. So clarifying what your business model is, and remember, simpler is better. Okay. As soon as you start adding in other layers, it becomes more complex. Again, if you have a whole team to help you with that, that's great. But if you don't, simplify to multiply. Anyways, if you found that helpful, awesome. Let me know what you enjoyed most about this in the comments below. Remember to subscribe to the channel somewhere down here. Got tons of other videos to help you grow your business online in the health or fitness space. And that's all from me today. So glad you were here. Thank you for your time and attention. Yuri Elkaim here signing off, and I'll see you in the next video.